Greetings, Earthlings. It is Professor Crowley here. I'm on my own at the moment. Trixie had a exhausting day today. We've done a lot of homeschooling. We've done some English. She's done some spellings practice. She's done some reading, and she's done some writing as well. We've also done some maths. We did some of our multiplications. We also did some mental arithmetic. She has these worksheets from school that she has to go over, so she's been doing that. She's also done her 2 workouts for the day as well. She's done those once in the morning and once towards the end of our homeschooling. Homeschooling here starts from about 11 a.m. and finishes at 5. So yeah, we're finished now, going to have dinner. Going to relax now, and a bit later on. So today's video is not going to be a lesson. It's actually going to be a Friday special, if you will. Every Friday we're going to be reading a bedtime story, or I'm going to be reading a bedtime story to Trixie, and she's going to be going to sleep, and hope that it's a nice story for you guys at home as well, if it's your bedtime. Couple of things to mention. Upcoming, we've got some really quite intense classes coming. I've got one on evolution for kids, which is coming. We've also got a whole episode dedicated to the situation that's happening at the moment with the coronavirus. It's suitable for kids. It's obviously not going to be fun and friendly and jokey like our usual episodes are, but I think it's incredibly important that everyone understands what coronavirus is and why we are taking these lockdown measures so seriously. Without further ado, I hope you enjoy story time. I'm going to go find Trixie now, see where she's at. She should be here somewhere. Oh my gosh! How long have you been in there for?
About like an hour.
So yeah, story time, bedtime.
Hello.
Let's get to it. Hey Siri, play some calm, relaxing ambient music.
Playing some chill ambient.
So today we're going to be reading The Detective Dog by Julia Donaldson. There once was a dog with a keen sense of smell. She was known far and wide as Detective Dog Nell. Sniff, 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 time after time, Nell the detective solved crime after crime. Who threw the hazelnuts down from the trees? Who took the honey away from the bees? Who did the poo on the new gravel path? How did the spider get into the bath? Sniff, 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 with a wag of her tail, Nell the detective was hot on the trail. Nell shared her house with a person called Peter, a very nice child, though he could have been neater. And 6-year-old Peter was one of those boys who kept on mislaying his clothes and his toys. Sniff, 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 nose to the ground. These are the things the detective dog found. The bus in the bowl and the book in the bed, the sock in the sofa, the shoe in the shed, the tumble-down teddy, the bounce-away ball. Nell the detective discovered them all. Now Nell did detection from Tuesday till Sunday, but did something totally different each Monday. She found Peter's bag and she tracked down her lead, then set off for school, where she heard children read. The children loved reading their stories to Nell, and Nell loved to listen and also to smell. Sniff, 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 mixed in the air, were plasticine, custard, and newly washed hair. The crusts in the bins and the coats on the hooks, but the best smell of all was the smell of the books. Books about dinosaurs, books about knights, books about planets and meteorites, books about princes who turned into frogs, books about dragons, and books about dogs. But then came a Monday when all was not well. Nell sniffed the air, and she smelled the wrong smell. Into the classroom the two of them hurried, and found Mr. Jones looking terribly worried. He tugged at his hair and he let out a sigh. Peter looked round and round and he started to cry. Sniff, sniff, sniff. What was going on? The books, cried out Peter. The books have all gone. Nell gave a growl when she heard the bad news, but then started sniffing and searching for clues. Sniff, sniff, sniff. On the bookshelf a cap. The thief must have dropped it, the terrible chap. Nell sniffed the cap, then she tugged on the lead, and woof, she ran off at astonishing speed. Everyone followed Detective Dog Nell. She stopped at the traffic lights. What could she smell? Sniff, sniff, sniff. Haddock and hay, pizza and penguins, and further away, the smell of the thief, and how very exciting, thousands of pages all covered in writing. Then woof, they were off, with no time for a stop, past the farm and the zoo and the takeaway shop. They raced through a field where the rabbits smelled good, then over a golf course and into a wood. They thrashed through the undergrowth, leafy and dense, till they came to a gate in an old wooden fence. Then Nell started growling and pricked up an ear. She barked and the bark meant, "The thief is in here." They flung the gate open and Peter cried, "Look!" For there sat a man with his nose in a book. There were many more books poking out of a sack, and the children yelled, "Those are our books, give them back." Sniff, sniff, sniff. The book thief looked sad. "I'm sorry," he sniffled. "I know I've been bad. Stealing is wrong, but I just meant to borrow. I was planning to give all the books back tomorrow." To borrow? To borrow? Nell pricked up an ear. She barked, and the bark meant, "I've had an idea." Then woof, she was off, and away they all sped, including the book thief, who told them, "I'm Ted." Sniff, 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 they raced through the wood, and over the field where the rabbits smelled good. They panted and puffed past the takeaway shop, the zoo and the farmyard with never a stop, except to retrieve Peter's scarf and his ball, which someone had thoughtfully placed on a wall, till they came to a building with doors open wide, and what did they see when they all went inside? Thousands of books from the floor to the ceiling. He gazed in amazement. "Where am I?" he said, and Peter replied, "In the library, Ted. You can join if you want to, there isn't a fee, and then you can take lots of books out for free." So Ted has a lovely new library card, and he sits reading books in his little backyard. And when it's a Monday, Detective Dog Nell visits the school with the wonderful smell. Sniff, 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 with a faraway look. She smells and she listens to book after book. Books about dinosaurs, books about knights, books about planets and meteorites, books about princes who turn into frogs, books about dragons, and books about dogs. All the old books and a new one as well. The story of daring Detective Dog Nell. So as you can see, Trixie enjoyed the story this evening. Didn't you, Trixie?
What?
Just saying goodbye to our viewers.
Bye.
Sleep tight.